This conference will now be recorded.
I got 6 o'clock. We'll call the meeting to order. We'll start the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we need to add that amendment to?
You can talk about the ad if you want.
Yeah, we
I
just
did
had
send
to-
it back out to everybody though,
Yeah.
including the paper and
We just got one amendment, which everybody's seen as 8E, the sale of the 2021 or 2001 plow truck.
I'll move to adopt the agenda as amended.
Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0-0. Accounts payable, Kevin.
Just two major things to look at here. The new plow truck, number 81396 for $320,888.63. And then the number 81430 to Schumacher for the watering and repairs for $37,193.73. So unless there's any discussion, I'd make a motion to approve the accounts payable in the total of $411,416.12.
I guess my only question I have on that is the Schumachers, the 4430 Jefferson Drive Water Sewer. Mike, do you know, explain that?
So some of them,
Turn the mic on.
the invoices didn't come through again for some reason or another, so some of them are from back in October again.
Back with the Jefferson project.
Well-
The invoices got lost, but it's part of that. Okay.
And then there was some watering for those new shrubs that were put in. That was the watering portion of it.
Perfect. Thanks, Mike. That was the only question I had on that.
The 500 TIF.
That was money for Keller's, the financial consultant, and that is reimbursed through the money that Keller Bartman paid us. They paid us that escrow account. So that, yep. I'll send the motion.
Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0-0. Thanks, Kevin. We'll open the public comment portion. Individuals may address the city council about any item of concern. Speakers must state their name and limit the remarks to 5 minutes. I'll close the public comment portion because there's nobody in public here. We'll jump to consent agenda. All items listed in the consent agenda are considered routine by the council will be approved by one motion. So I just need to consent agenda on the minutes from March 20th.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0-0. Let's jump down to 7A, unfinished business. Funding of the Trestle Bridge short-term repair. Brian?
Yep, this is what we talked about last time. When we made the motion to do the repair and award the project, we had some discussion about methods to fund the project, and this is the same thing that I read to you last time, just in memo form. So just as discussed, 4 of the options would involve a repayment, and the one using a sales tax dollars would not involve a repayment. I can go into it more if you want me to.
So you just need a motion on
Whichever route you want to go.
whatever route we want on that one, which I think we were somewhat agreeable.
If I remember right, we were inclined to the Fund 421.
Is that the sales tax one?
Yep, that was a discussion last time. Hey, Bob, turn your mic on.
Do we just need a motion and a second to whoever wants to?
I'd make a motion to take those funds from Fund 421.
I'll second that.
And we're not exceeding that 160, correct? Unless it comes back to council.
Oh, right, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Any further discussions on taking the funds from Fund 421 for the trestle bridge repairs? And I assume we can roll on that right away, right, Mike? Once it's approved, or is that an engineer question?
The repair?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, they're ready to go.
They're ready to
They-
go? Okay.
Yep, or they're ready to roll. I think we were looking to have it open end of, or June sometime. Mid-June. Yeah.
Perfect. We got a first and a second. Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0-0. Let's do unfinished business B, Resolution 2025-18, declaring the official intent to reimburse the inter-fund loan used to purchase the new plow truck.
Yes, when we did that, we had mentioned that we would be bringing this resolution, which is basically gives us the authority to go out to bond for those dollars if those dollars need to be paid back for any reason prior to the 10-year term. So if something comes up within the sewer fund that, hey, they're short on money, we can go out and bond for those dollars and repay it with bonding dollars. That's basically what this resolution says. That was $350,000 and that was for the plow truck and then other capital equipment items that are on the schedule. The $350,000 was articulated in the capital planning document that we approved with Ehlers, 2 years ago? 2 years ago. And so rather than going out to borrow those dollars, we used intra-fund loan, but we want the option just in case. We don't foresee any reason that we would ever have to do this, but it's good to have the option there in case we do need to go bond for those dollars in a pinch or borrow them some other way.
I guess I have one question for Kim, and I should have asked this last meeting. When we do these interfund loans, we're taking from the one account, but we're paying that back with interest.
Correct.
Is that required by the state or by law?
We don't have to, actually. We aren't required to do that, but I think it's a best practice since it's there's a lot of cities that take a huge chunk out of their proprietary funds every year and roll it into the general funds. I don't think that's ever served us really well. So we've made the standard practice since I've been here anyhow of setting it up on the balance sheet. So in the general fund, it'll say, excuse me, my brain just shut off for a minute. In the general fund, it'll say due to sewer restricted, so it'll say due to other funds, and it'll be the amount. And then in the sewer fund, it'll say due from other funds. So we'll track it on the balance sheet, and we'll track the progress on the balance sheet as well. So it's just making sure that those funds get made whole since we're borrowing money, and especially with the sewer fund being that we are entering into this North Sanitary District, I think it's very prudent to do it that way.
So just another way of adding more money to that fund as well, right?
Yep, we're paying interest to the fund now instead of, higher interest than we're getting in money market currently.
To cover that, we're going to raise the levy to cover that interest on that?
We were going to raise it anyhow because we were going to go out and borrow, so that was built into the financial plan already.
Approve resolution 2025-18.
Second.
Roll call. Aye. B.O.B. I got it. John?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Fred? And I passes 5-0-0. Let's jump to new business. 8A, letter of recognition for Sergeant Pasquale. Chief.
So today what we're going to do is we're recognizing Sergeant Tony Pasquale for his service to the community and those that he may encounter. In this particular situation that occurred last fall, it was in fact last November, he had a call where he was assisting a stranded motorist that struck a deer and his vehicle was no longer operable. The man had expressed to Sergeant Pasquale that he was en route to St. Mary's to see his wife, who was going to be going through some surgery, and wanted to make sure that he got there. And Tony offered to give him a ride to St. Mary's. So This is something that we might do every day, potentially. But this man expressed his gratitude since his wife did pass away shortly after, but he was able to go and spend time with her. And because of that, it's just another good example of the compassion and the service that we provide our community members and those that we encounter in our city. And it's, to me, deserving of recognition for his efforts and his continued good work. So, Tony, congratulations.
Thank you.
You bet. And thank you for your service. All right. Thank you. You bet.
Good job, Tony. Thank you. We don't need a motion.
Nope. Oh,
Thanks, Chief. 8B, sanitary sewer maintenance plan. Mike?
So I have the quotes back for the sanitary maintenance plan that we talked about earlier. They like to see us camera the sewer mains probably every 10 years. But I got the quotes back. One was from Empire Pipe Services. The other was from Superior Sewer Service. There's a slight difference in how they bid them, and Empire broke theirs out year to year, where Superior took it and just averaged it out. But overall, when you look at the total quote overall, there was only a $27.50 difference, and that was between a 5-year plan with Superior and a 4-year plan with Empire. Superior took some footages off or some price off on their easement work. That what they did on their own. I just assumed they would have left it in there. I think would probably even reflect a little better, but that's the way they presented it back to us. With that being said, we have to enter into just a 1-year maintenance plan, year to year. So Empire Pipe Services is at $77,258.50. But when you look at the overall picture, some years are going to be less, some years for same thing with Superior's at their 65,000. Some years they'll have more. So with a $27.50 difference, that's Public Works recommendation to enter into a contract for year 1 with Empire Pipe Services.
Two questions I have on that, Mike. One, have we ever used Empire? Have you used Empire before? They've done a good job, I assume?
Yeah.
And I assume that comes out of the water and sewer fund? Sewer? And these guys don't do any repairs if they come across. They just give us the report and then it's our responsibility at a later date or at that time.
I'll make a motion that we accept the Empire Pipe Services contract for this first year.
Second.
I guess I do have one more question, as a thing. So years 2, 3, 4, and 5, are they the same price or can they go up? According, you know how stuff goes up?
So I think I included, so on the sheet, I included the quote from Empire. So their year 1 is 77, their year 2 is 84, 86, and then 81. And Superior's was on a 5-year, so we're just dealing with, and they didn't give me a 5-year layout like Empire did, so Superior's was just an average of 65,000 a year for 5 years.
So them prices are, so in year 2 or 3 come, that's the price it's gonna be. They can't raise it, correct?
Right.
They can,
Yep.
but,
Right.
okay. We got a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Well, and I maybe should just clarify too that that's a little bit of we'll know the exact footages when they're done, because that was us going through maps and plans and figuring out what we thought was the total footage on things, which could be a little bit difficult, so.
So then you're gonna sit and read all them reports, right? Every second of that pipe.
I go through a lot of them, I tell
I
you.
bet.
The problem is I don't have the equipment to do the old ones anymore.
Yeah. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 500. Thanks, Mike. Let's do 8C lawnmower purchase. Mike?
Quote from Motormeyers for 72-inch Ferris. It's a bigger mower than what we've purchased in the past, but we're able to extend this out for 5 years instead of the 3-year replacement we've got them on. We're still under budget with the trade-in from what we had budgeted in the plan, so feel pretty comfortable with that.
Any questions on that?
I'll make that motion for that.
I'll second.
Any further discussions?
I guess, I know we went to doing our own mowing at the park at that time and stuff, because we thought it would save money. Is it saving us money by doing it ourselves than hiring it out?
What was our top mowing bill? 14, 18,000 a year?
Oh, no, the park part was 25,000.
Oh, really? That much? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, now we have another employee since then. That balances it out a little bit. And they also get a little more service out there. And we also can control the mowing, which I think, usually they would mow once a week for schedules, but now we can mow if there's music in East Park, they'll go up and mow.
That was one of the big things.
It was, yeah.
And I think it looks a lot better since our guys have taken it over versus our contractor. I mean, nothing against our contractor, but I think.
This is a personal investment.
Yeah.
Guys.
Yep.
Yeah, and the softball fields too, the fields would get long in the week and the little kids playing out there. Or me, it's hard for me to get my legs out of that tall grass.
Do we have a motion in a second? I guess we do. Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 500. Thanks again, Mike. 8D, let's do it again, Mike. Well repair quote number 4.
I got the repair quote back from Bergeson. So this was what was presented at the January 23rd meeting. We only had one bidder, which was Bergeson Caswell. There was 3 packages sent out. At that time, it was the 3 line items that they went with. And then we get to this point where they take it back to the shop and kind of look things over and tell us what they need or what's needed. And it was all pretty standard, except that we were replacing 18 column pipes this time, which was probably a little more than what we had in the past, probably anywhere from 4 to 6 more column pipe than usual, but otherwise it's pretty straightforward.
Pump 4, is that the one out on 60?
Well-
West Fifth?
Well, 4 is behind the city shop.
An inspection of well 4.
Second.
Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 500. Thanks, Mike. Let's do 8E, sale of the 2001 Sterling plow truck. Mike?
Pretty standard. When we sell equipment or vehicles, we always have to come to the council for that permission. And we're ready with that new truck, so we're ready to get rid of the old one now, and that'll go through min bid, which we've used that in the past for equipment or trucks and stuff like that, so.
So will you use chief too for the cars?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 500. Thanks, Mike. Report, Screwdom.
Yes, Speaking of the trestle, the TA grant that we applied for, this Transportation Alternatives Grant, we finally received notice from the District 6 Area Transportation Partnership that we will receive $525,000 this year. That's 2029 money. And so we're grateful for that. We requested 1.4 million and we finished second. So in these things, the first place finisher gets fully funded. And that was about $1.5 million project, almost $1.6 million project. Then we get what is left of that. So what we'll do is bring this back again next year, the same project. And hopefully we finish first next year. Because we're not ready yet anyway to rebuild. So we're hoping to get it fully funded over the 2 cycles. And that would be 2030 money. We're asking for $875,000 next year. But we're grateful to be included. $525,000, that's a big deal. Even if we don't get any more, but we prefer to get more. So we'll bring it back and try for the rest of it. Any questions on that?
So you can bring it back again next year?
Yep. We'll bring it back
Just
again.
next year, or can you keep?
Can we do
Well,
it year
could
3?
keep going, yeah. I mean, yep. But theoretically, we're number 2 this year. Hopefully we'll be,
Number 1.
Number
and
one
then get
next
the other
year, or-
800,000.
yeah. No promises, of course, but we can bring it back. So we'll bring it back.
Can you go for other grants, being that you're going for just one grant or not?
Yeah, we did. We do have another grant out there to pay for the engineering because the Transportation Alternative Grant does not pay for the engineering. So we have another grant application. I can't remember what it's even called. That's out there. We won't know on that until midsummer. So there would be 2 grants already for that. So, but yeah, there's nothing to say we couldn't look for more. This is a federal one. The other one I think is a state grant. It's just a matter of if you can stack grants or if you're going to get,
That's what I was wondering.
yeah. Because a lot of it comes from the same pool of money. It's just called different grants. So anyway, good news on that, and we'll go back at it. The pool, we're still working on the construction documents, anticipation of going out for bid in, I believe, May is when we were planning on that. Fundraising efforts are continuing. Committee's been reaching out to businesses right now, and then we'll reach back out to citizens with probably a number that, hey, if everybody contributed this amount, we could get there type thing. But we want to exhaust all other fundraising avenues first. There's been a T-Mobile grant submitted, and then the Taylor Family Farms grant. There's 3 other ones, I believe, coming up with various deadlines. And so CETA grant writers are working on that right now as well. So more grants to come. And then I just wanted to note the sanitary district information. I haven't included the minutes anymore in the packets because the minutes and all the information is all available on that website that I had sent to you and put out. That we have a website now, the North Somerville Sanitary District, and everything's out there. Meeting minutes, all the information, updates on bonding, things like that. The latest we know about bonding is that the state legislature is looking at combining bonding capacity for 2 years, this year and next year, which is going to result in about $1.4 something million, which is good for us. There's more money now than to draw from. So we are still going at our request. We're looking at phasing options because it's 48.8 million is a big ask. And so we're looking at ways that we can phase to pare that ask down a little bit and hopefully fit in to a bonding bill. Bonding bill waits till the end of the session, so we won't know anything on that for a while. We've also submitted to Finstead and Klobuchar, Congressman Finstead and Senator Klobuchar for congressionally directed spending, and we will submit to Senator Tina Smith as well once her request paperwork comes out. We were assisted by the Prairie Island lobbyists or the Native American lobbyists out in Washington, D.C. in putting together the paperwork for that. So we're trying every angle to try and generate some dollars and keep this thing moving.
our goal is to raise $1 million before we can start.
1 to 1.1 million, yep.
Yeah, and where are we at on that?
Well, we had talked about maybe using some more operating fund money that we still have available while still keeping our finance director comfortable. So we could get up to about a little over 700,000, I think, give or take.
Right now, it's at 5 something.
Right now, we could, yeah, it's at 5 something now. If we peel out this, another 175,000, we'd be getting closer to 700,000. And then when you go out to bid, Burbach has said a typical in-kind donation amount is anywhere between 200 to 300,000. 200 is normal, 300,000 is a really good in-kind effort. So the committee's out there trying to raise as much as they can between now and the end of May from donations. But we're gonna get this rolling this year. You know, we're gonna do everything we can to get it rolling this year.
You talked about 170,000 coming from where?
175,000 out of the pool operating fund.
Pool operating fund.
Yeah,
Okay, got it.
because, you know, we need to be comfortable that when we open the new pool, we have the operating money there. And so I asked Kim to take a good hard look at if we need to peel some more dollars out of there, can we? And that's what we came up with.
And they've already taken 200 out of there?
No, we took 200 out of the pool restricted.
That was.
So this is, you know, so that's our savings account basically. And then the other account is the pool operating budget. But we have left that. The levy money we have right now, that's pool earmark will go in there this year in July and December.
That's it.
That it, Drew?
Yep.
Thank you. Chief?
Couple of things. The 14th of April, Our Savior's Church is hosting a Beneath the Badge event regarding health and wellness for public safety officials, and people in that field and their spouses are certainly welcome to come and hear the speakers. And the speakers, this is what they do for a living, is they go around and talk about health and wellness. And so this is partially hosted also by Kim Schroeder. And so this event's going to happen at 6 p.m. on the 14th. And I had put that information out to area chiefs, sheriffs, and requested they also share them with their local public safety partners. And so we're hoping for a good turnout for that event. And so that's happened on the 14th. And of course, before our next council meeting on the 17th, we're going to do our groundbreaking for the Gary Schroeder Memorial. And so we're looking forward to this opportunity. We are very close to being fully funded. I don't know exactly how short we are. It's around 5,000, somewhere in there. But we received a check yesterday from the trust, the Zumbrota Community Trust, for 10,000 that went toward it, and we're very appreciative of that. And so we're looking forward to having this fully funded, especially by the time we actually do a ribbon cutting event. So we're excited that this is going to happen this year, and it's going to start this month. So a lot of things are in place. A lot of items that are customized have been ordered. I don't know if Jake has some of these things already in stock, but I think we're going to be finalizing the brick items, the personalized pavers that we had put out for $500 donations. So those haven't been ordered yet. So if there are people out there that still want to do that, they still have time. So, but we're going to get going on that, and we're looking forward to it. That's all I got.
So stay tuned. I think we're doing the ribbon cutting before council next. Council, is that what we're doing?
5 o'clock.
Yeah, 5 o'clock. So we'll do a ribbon cutting prior out there. And then we'll have council after this. So
We're
Thanks,
gonna-
Chief, for all the work on that. And
We're scheduling 60 degrees and sunny for that time period.
Right. I think we're gonna do some minor refreshments or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, we'll have cookies and punch or something, I suppose.
perfect.
Maybe donuts.
Curtis.
Sorry. Yeah, the EDA had a pretty exciting meeting in early March at Mosaic Motors. Mary Hamill, Brian, myself, a couple EDA members, a couple of business owners were there. And where there was a meeting with Rebound, which is a investment group out of Northfield. And one of the topics, we kind of sat around and talked about what Zumbrota needs. Some of them were, I'm not gonna lie, a couple were pretty far-fetched, but some of them, one of the big ones came up with was a hotel, a destination for people to stay in Zumbrota. And from that meeting, led to getting a hotel study done. The city of Zumbrota had one done in 2017, and that study said, yes, it's feasible for Zumbrota to open a smaller hotel. What I mean by a smaller hotel is like a 50-unit hotel, not a grand one like you'll see in the cities or Rochester. So we brought it back to the EDA meeting, last EDA meeting we had, and we selected a company, HVS out of Minneapolis, to do our hotel study. That'll get started probably next week. And what they will do, then they'll take that information, and I'll keep working with Britt Reese, who's the individual from Rebound. And they'll take that information to basically sell the idea of a hotel coming to Zumbrota. At our next meeting we have with this group, which will be April 15th, Miles will go with, and he has a couple of spots for the possibility of a hotel going. And more than likely, the hotel would be out on 52. I think everybody's familiar with that. Rather than being downtown, because there's no spot for one downtown. But yeah, and we'll bring to that next meeting and go from there. Yeah, it was a pretty exciting meeting to be a part of.
Yeah, I mean, it was very interesting. A lot of good ideas, and I think that is good. I do want to give a shout out to Todd Fitzgibbon, because he's been the one that has really driven this and has really been the one putting this together, and is really, he's rah for Zumbrota, which is great. And I just want to give a shout out for the effort that he has done to put the city and the EDA and business owners together to work on this. So I'm excited to kind of see where this goes. So I just want to give a shout out to Todd. So anything else, Kurt?
And our visitors guides for 2025 will be probably out in May, so you may be seeing them around places.
Perfect.
That's it.
Thanks, Kurt. Miles?
Yes, Mayor Council, I have, we're still looking for a planning and zoning commissioner. We had someone interested, but that hasn't come through yet. So we're still looking for someone to be on planning and zoning. So if anyone's interested, please reach out to City Hall. And we are going to bring back comments from our March 20 council meeting to the code committee for changes to the RV ordinance. So we'll be working on that on April 15th, and hopefully we'll have something to bring, hopefully in the summertime, back to council as well. And we are potentially looking for a new code committee member as well. And we did get a lot of interest at that meeting for another citizen to be on that committee. So we'll be potentially interested in adding one more member as well. Thanks.
Perfect. Thanks, Miles. Kimberly?
Nothing tonight.
Mike? I have nothing.
I just wanted to mention, I did have a couple citizens come and visit with me the other day. One of them concerned about the library with the administrator or the head librarian not there, wondering when he might be back, and also concerned that it wasn't open on Saturdays. But I know those two concerns are in the works and things are moving forward to get that corrected. The other one, gentleman spoke with me about an issue on 3rd Street on how uneven the street was, wondering about the possibility of fixing it and what can be done about that. His other issue, question was on City Hall being closed on Friday afternoons, wondering why, and wondering with more help in the office, if that may alleviate some of that pressure so that we could have it open. Just his concerns. Just thought I'd let you know.
before I go to Joan, I'm gonna go to our attorney, Mike. Do you have anything, Mike?
Nothing tonight. Sorry, my video was on and now it's not working, but no, nothing tonight.
That's fine. I'm sorry I forgot about you.
That's okay.
Joan? Kevin?
Nothing.
Fred?
Nothing.
I have nothing. Meeting adjourned.